How have some South African artists responded to pivotal aspects of apartheid, and what do we learn from it in post-apartheid years? There are two ways to learn about history. You can read books and learn the facts, or we can experience the emotions connected with the event through art. I believe the second way, experiencing art, is a better way to understand life in apartheid times. The first artwork does not refer to a specific event, but rather comments on the brutal and animalistic character, nature, and mindset of those behind apartheid. In 1986, when state violence was at its peak, Jane Alexander completed her life-size plastered sculpture entitled The Butcher Boys. It comprises of 3 deformed men sitting on a bench. They are naked and have animal faces with protruding horns. She confronts people with their bestiality they show through the violence of apartheid. She says, "My themes are drawn from the relationships of individuals to hierarchies and the presence of aggression, violence, victimization, power, and subservience, and from the paradoxical relationships of these conditions to each other." The thought behind this work is that we rationalize the human qualities of those perpetrating apartheid as being distorted and subhuman. The irony is that the South African state believed exactly the same, that the other, black people, were not human. A them and us mentality gives us the potential to do exactly what they did. Behaviors are not linked to race, as similar events around the world demonstrate. Any culture, state, or religion that has its power threatened will respond with violence, as seen in Syria and Mayara. We are all human, and we have the animal inside all of us.
In Detention by Chris van Beek. He fell from the 9th floor. He hanged himself. He slipped on a piece of soap while washing. He hanged himself. He slipped on a piece of soap while washing. He fell from the 9th floor. He hanged himself while washing. He slipped from the 9th floor. He hung from the 9th floor. He slipped on the 9th floor while washing. He fell from a piece of soap while slipping. He hung from the 9th floor. He washed from the 9th floor while slipping. He hung from a piece of soap while washing.
The second artwork is Chris van Beek's poem In Detention. He drew on his own interrogation at John Foster Square when he wrote this poem about police brutality, which is also a tribute to those who died while in detention. It was published in his 1978 volume of poetry, It's Time to Go Home. The Terrorism Act, Act number 83 of 1967, led to detention without trial. The state could detain people while denying them access to the justice system to dispute the charges against them. Activists could be controlled by being removed from society at the cost of their own lives. John Foster Square in Gough Street, now Johannesburg Central Police Station, saw the deaths of 8 male activists. Amin Timor, 1971, fell. Wellington Sabani, 1976, hung. Almond Malele, 1977, age 61, fell. Matthews Mojo Mabalane, 1977, fell. These 4 activists died after the poem was published. Neil Ackett, 1982, hung. Ernest Mobawi Dipula, 1982, hung. Mishwa Stanza Bopapi disappeared. Clayton Sizwe Sithole, partner of Zinzi Mandela, 1990, 12 days before Nelson Mandela released, hung in shower. At first, the poem seems confusing. It plays a mind trick that makes you question what is really going on. This heightens the horror of police brutality and the callousness of their excuses and justifications for the murders. It mocks the official death statements.
You like this bloody passbook? I say I can't lose my name, would.
Burn that number in your head, my brother. That is more important than your name. The white men will never ask for your name. Always that number. Never forget.
The Natives Abolition of Passes and Coordination of Documents Act number 67 of 1952, made it compulsory for all black South Africans to carry an identification document, a passbook, from the age of 16 at all times. Athol Fugard's play, Sizwe Banza is Dead, which opened on the 8th of October 1972 at the Space Theatre in Cape Town, directly refers to the devastating consequence this law had on ordinary people. Sizwe Banza takes on the identity of a dead man, Roberts Willem Zima, so that he can stay in the same area as his wife and children, because Robert's passbook has the relevant work seeker's permit. The photographer Style says to him,
This is your only chance.
I still say no, but what's it mean, Boont? That means Sizwe Banza?
He's dead.
I'm not dead, Boont.
Apartheid has destroyed Robert's identity. The Court Theatre website states, this play is a direct reaction to Fugard's work as a law clerk in the Native Commissioner's Court in Johannesburg, where he saw blacks jailed daily for not having their passbooks in proper order. Apartheid has destroyed Robert's identity and who the state wants him to be. Sizwe gives up his identity, denying who he is, his very selfhood, to live with his family. He kills himself to live. What can we conclude from this brief explanation? David Castro's comment that when one party has sole access to evidence, it can be manipulated in any way. The state had all the evidence and manipulated it for its own ends. However, art is rooted in the struggle to clarify ideas, perspectives, and emotions. These artists gave voice to the voiceless and gave us a different perspective from the official one. In refusing to take events at face value, there have been activists challenging us to see the past more intimately by developing our empathy and understanding. In some small way, we can identify with the victims of apartheid. Hopefully, we will be challenged not to repeat the past.